Hello everybody, my name is Efter and today we're going to be no-damaging all the boss fights in Batman Arkham Origins, starting off with Killer Croc. This fight's pretty good. I like it a lot. It's pretty simple. All you do is dodge, do beatdowns, quick-fire gadgets, and just try to take control of the crowd easily. It's a pretty good fun fight. Especially for a beginner fight. I have to say it's my favorite beginner boss fight in the series. Because compared to Solomon Grundy and... who else is there? Scarecrow? Oh no, Bane. I think it was Bane that was like the first boss of the game. Or Scarecrow. It could be one of those two. I feel like it's Killer Croc in Origins has to be the best one. Because it actually functions like a boss fight. It's fun. It's not too long, but I wish it was. It's short, it's just overall enjoyable. The reason I chose Extermination from Yakuza 5, the stock boss theme from that game, is because it rocks. It sounds really good. I love it. It's a good theme. Banger. So true, bestie. Anyways. What else is there to say about this fight? There really isn't much anything to say about it aside from the fact that it's just a good fun fight. Oh wait, actually yeah, remember how there are helicopters that spawn in this fight? Okay, so they occasionally, like, if you don't take care of the enemies before, like, Croc switches phases, you can actually get hit by the enemies that are still in the arena, which can cause problems for you if you can't counter them while the helicopters come in, so there's that problem. Aside from that, good fight. Next up we have Electrocutioner. He's a joke fight. There really isn't much to say about him. I kind of wish he had an actual fight, because he might have been interesting if you ask me. Maybe like basically a buff stun baton enemy, which Anarky is. So there's that.
Who wants to show me where the penguin
and well, here's my favorite fight in the entire game. Deathstroke.
You better have
I love Deathstroke. He's very well designed. He's the perfect fight in this game. I love him. I wish more bosses were like him. He's generally just an overall tough, enjoyable fight. He's perfect. He's the perfect Arkham fight. And like, after playing through City Asylum, Origins, and like, I can definitely say that this fight is probably going to stay as my favorite fight in the entire fucking franchise, just because of how well designed it is. It reminds me a lot of Mr. Freeze, but unlike Mr. Freeze, this one is like not a predator fight. It's like a combat section where you use your fists and beat the shit out of him. And another thing I like about this fight is he behaves a lot like you. He has his own counters, his own defense measures, his own gadgets, his own combo strings. He's basically your equal. And I wish Arkham Knight had something like this with Prometheus. And if you're asking why, because he was originally planned for Season of Infamy, which is the expansion pack that adds more side quests to fix plot holes and like cliffhangers in the Arkham franchise. What else is there to talk about this fight? Oh yeah, Deathstroke. I just love him overall. And another thing that I really like about Deathstroke is how he's actually playable in the challenge maps, which I'll be doing a video on soon. No commentary though, just normal challenges. Not challenges, but like just beating up people. Like that. Aside from that, what else is there? What else is there? What else is there? Oh, the Vergil theme. The reason I chose Vergil's theme from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Okay, that rolled out of my tongue. Say that 3 times. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is because I think it's the best rendition of Vergil's theme overall from Devil May Cry 3. It mixes elements of all 3 of his themes from DMC3, which is a good thing, and it makes for a better song if you ask me. Also, Deathstroke actually changes weapons in the middle of the fight, which is a really cool detail. And in the sword phase, he actually becomes a lot more harder because his combo strings get longer, basically making you have to like counter 4 times up to total. So you gotta time those right, because if you fail one of them or mash the counter button, not taking your time, not being precise, you basically get rewarded with damage. You take damage. And if you don't want to no damage this fight, you have to learn his patterns. You have to learn his counter timings. And I know the way I'm talking makes it seem like that it's hard, but it's actually not that hard. There were fights that were harder than this, especially Bane, Copperhead, somehow Anarky, which we will get to after this one. But hey, he's like a really good fight. The reason he's easy is because he's actually like a really well designed fight. Also, hey, I got the achievement, point counterpoint, really good one. What do we have next? We have Anarky. Anarky is a pretty throwaway fight, but I really like his side mission in Origins. It's pretty good. It talks about some matters of injustice and such, even though pretty tame compared to most other games and comic book and media. You know what I mean. The fight is actually not that bad, but it gets shit. It's like crap. After the first phase, that is. Like, his first phase is fine, and his third phase is fine, but his second phase is so bad that I feel it ruins the entire fight for me. Because the Molotovs don't have some sort of pattern. And like, their area of effect is way too large, to the point where despite the fact you dodge and you have iframes, you still get hit somehow, which is really annoying. And well, Anarky himself is pretty much a joke, because he's just a buff stun baton enemy that loses his stun baton after like a hit and occasionally goes up to pick it back up. He's just pretty easy, but like, I mean, can you blame them? It's like a side story battle. They're mostly like easy crowd fights. They're glorified crowd fights. Oh, okay, another thing to talk about. You apparently can't do takedowns and ground pounds on these guys, which I found out the hard way by that. So sorry if it doesn't look as stylish as other people's content, or at least other people's attempts. Here's Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter is a really good Scarecrow knockoff, and I feel like it's one of the good like imitation fights, or at least like fights that are similar to ones in City, Asylum, and such. It's like really good. It has nice scenery, it has nice visuals, it has just overall a vibe that is really good. I like it. It's enjoyable overall. And well, what else is there to talk about? I really like Mad Hatter's dialogue. His voice actor is killing it, to be honest. In City, in Origins, and in Night 2. His voice actor is just a killer. He does like a killer job. He sounds like a lunatic. And that's great. God, I wish I could do voice acting like that. But hey, it is what it is. Also, I really like the colors in this, like, general overall Wonderland aesthetic. It's like dark, but it feels like colorful at the same time. Also, let me talk about the door section. All you have to do in the door section is just follow the rabbit guy, the guy with the rabbit mask. You just follow him and enter the doors that he's on top of. And that's it. It's pretty much easy. But the first time I did this, I actually did not know this. I later on found it through other people's attempts. Mostly a YouTuber by the name of Overgears, which I will be linking in the description below. Please check that guy out. He does like really good no damages in the Arkham. He does really good no damages for Arkham Origins, or at least did, since he only did the 13 main bosses of the game, except Mr. Freeze, who was a DLC fight in Cold Heart. Whew, that's a mouthful, eh? It is. Let me take a big sip from the water bottle now, shall I? There. Okay. Let's continue. This mirror phase is pretty annoying. So annoying that I actually had to do 5 or 4 times, which is why the video looks cut. I actually had to edit it. I didn't do this in one take. Yes, I know, it's bad, and like, it's scummy, but please forgive me, man. It's the best I can do. Because if I were not to do that, this video probably would have taken a month to come out. Yeah, I know, and before you say, yeah, I know, I could have waited that long. Yeah, you know, I know. You could have waited that long, but still, I didn't want to make you wait. The last time I did this was like 3 months ago. So, I wanted to give some content to y'all back. I enjoy doing this stuff, mostly because of how much positive feedback I get. It makes me happy. It doesn't make me feel worthless in this world, so yeah, there's that. After that crowd battle in the mirror section, there really isn't much of a challenge. It's mostly just enjoying the scenery, going along. It's mostly like a Disney park ride. It's like the what was that? Splash Mountain, right? Splash Mountain. It has like a. It's generally just like a Disney park ride. You just sit down, do that fight section, the only tough part, and then the rest is just slowly following through the tracks, taking your time, enjoying the ride. It's pretty good. I like it. Like, it's not as scary as Scarecrow, because Scarecrow actually had a challenge throughout the entire time, being that he always is looking around the map and is trying to spot you. So there's that. Also, let's talk about the music choice I actually have for this fight. The reason I chose this track, which is Clowns Are Scary from Payday 2. Yes, Payday 2. I know, it's a bit of an odd music choice, especially for a game like Arkham. And before you say, yes, I know I do use Yakuza music a lot. But still, they fit in some of the fights and most of the, they fit most of the time. But you get what I mean. I try to vary things up. I try to make it so that the music fits with the fight itself. I don't want to use I don't know, what else could I use? End of the Dogma for fucking Mad Hatter, right? Oh wait, I actually forgot to talk about End of the Dogma for the Anarky fight. I actually use End of the Dogma from Kiwami 1, or at least End of the Drama, whatever you want to call it. I used that for Anarky, and well, I just thought it was cool. There really isn't much of a reason for it. I guess it could be because of the name, since it says drama and it's about politics. Ah, you get what I mean. Yeah, it's not that clever, but I feel like it's a good track choice. The track overall is really nice. I like it. Okay. This fight is over. This whole section is overall really weird, especially because of the ending. I don't know much about Mad Hatter overall. So, he kidnaps a woman, calls him Alice, and after you save her, she cries. I don't know if it has something to do with Alice, or like the woman that is kidnapped in the section. I don't know much about his lore. I only know that he kidnaps women, calls them Alice, occasionally murders them and shit. Does weird shit. I really don't know much. So excuse me if I sound stupid or something, not because of my stupidity. This section is a lot like that Ra's Ghoul section in Arkham City, where in the end of the fight you have to do a backwards batarang attack. And well, yeah, Mad Hatter is about that. That's it. You just walk around, fight goons, walk around, see woman cry, and that's it. Now we have Shiva, which has to be a really good fight. I like it. It's not that bad. I feel like the initiation version is better because it's like a mini Deathstroke, which this fight isn't, but still. He uses the martial artist moveset in this first phase, so there's that nice part. What else is there to talk about? My gal Shiva. Okay. The ninjas are pretty easy to deal with, but his second phase can be tough because of the martial artists. The reason I chose Flower of Chivalry is because I don't know why, but it reminded me a lot of tracks like Bonds. I know it's not mystical, but it has that feeling, you know? It kind of gives you that vibe-ish. It's not one-to-one, but I feel like it fits Shiva, especially this fight, because it's a bit more raw. It's just they're trying to beat the shit out of you just to see how strong you are and to see if your ideals are right. They're just trying to point their point of view to you. They're trying to make reason with you with their own ideologies towards you, Batman. And I think that's a really good dynamic. I wish she was in the main story, but hey, it is what it is. Next up, we have Copperhead. yeah. I hate this fight. I don't like it. It's not good. I don't enjoy this fight. It just doesn't feel right. It could because it's like generally a blatant, racial goal. Okay, so I can't speak. Okay, yeah. I have those. It happens. I sadly don't have the ability to I don't have the ability to speak that well. There. This fight is mostly a Ra's al Ghul ripoff, which I don't like. I love Ration City. This fight is really good. But like Ra's had a lot more than just dark room with clones. Then like that's like this is just what that fight is. Ra's had like a really good atmosphere. There was the stone statue phase. There was like the ninjas were actually predictable because they don't use like a new moveset that is like specifically made for this fight, and their animations are actually distinguishable. Distinguishable. Yes, there. Yeah, say that 3 times. What else? Like overall, I just don't like the fight. The reason I chose the Supreme from Fist of the Northstar Lost Paradise. Also, check that game out. It's really good. Way too good. Like, it's just overall badass. Anyways, the reason I chose it is because I feel like it fits the whole hallucination mystical feeling. And I didn't want to reuse boss tracks from my Arkham City video. Like, if that were the case, I probably would have reused bonds from Yakuza 6, which would have fit a bit more, but there's that. Like, I originally also planned on using End of Martyrdom from the same game as from Fist of the Northstar Lost Paradise. That's what I mean by same game. I was planning on using it, but I actually recently used it for a video of mine, which was the Aizawa and Morinaga no damage on Legend, or at least like the version 2.0 of that fight, because it was the second time I was doing it. So I didn't want to reuse the same song after a few weeks, because I feel like that would have been a pretty shitty and scummy move, pretty unoriginal and such. What else is there to talk about? I feel that countering Copperhead is really hard, and I'm really happy that they didn't add her moveset as a normal enemy. Also, let me talk about something. The reason I skip cutscenes is that so that the video is less longer. I mean, I don't skip the cutscenes in the last 2 fights, but that's because I feel like those cutscenes are actually good instead of these being like these, which are mostly just filler. I generally like those, but still, you know. Now we are at the Deadshot fight. The Deadshot fight. Oh boy, the Deadshot fight. This fight is really good, especially compared to his fight in Arkham City. Arkham City is just so bad. It's such a fucking disappointment, man. It's just like one singular QTE. It's like a QTE. You basically go below him, press triangle, done. That's the entire fight. The reason that you solved like 3 different fucking cases was so that you can press triangle on a beloved character. It's so stupid, and I love how Arkham Origins gave him justice, his design, his fights, his just overall vibe in this fight. Of this being like, it's just like a fight where he's just trying to prove that he's better than you. He's like, yeah, Bat, come on and come out and play. He's like taunting you. It's great. It's really good. I love it. It's like a general overall dynamic in this fight that I enjoy. And the reason I chose the boss track is because of that. Revolver Ocelot, from what I can tell, I'm not very into Metal Gear lore. My friends, Legit, Green, who else? Kazi. Those guys are more into that type of stuff. I don't know much about Metal Gear, so all I can say is that I hope I am right when I say these types of things. From what I can tell, Ocelot is kind of a cocky guy. I mean, not too like cocky, but like he's always trying to prove that he's better, or at least like smarter than the guy in the room. He thinks that he's the smartest guy in the room. He get what I mean? He's skilled, he's professional. I hope that kind of encapsulates Ocelot as well as Deadshot in this video. So, yeah. And aside from that, the fight is just really good. I like it. No, not the fight, the track itself, the music, Ocelot's theme from Metal Gear Solid 3. It's really good, I like it, even though I haven't played the game yet. The only Metal Gear game I have ever played is Rising. And then before you go in the comments saying, "Oh my god, what are you, a fucking Redditor?" Let me tell you this, I played it before, like, MGR blew up. Or at least, like, blew up recently. I played it like 2 years ago in 2020 around summer, before MGR really hit the fan and scene. What else is there? You know, like, I played it cause I really wanted to play more character action games, and around the time I played MGR, I was a really big fan of Transformers Devastation. There you go. It's the reason I kind of wanted to try out, because the directors are the same, the overall composers and such are the same, the overall vibe of the game is same, it has the campy feel, it's funny, it's badass, it's action-packed, you know, it's mostly just like a similar game to the core. So I decided to try it out, and I don't like it as much as I do with Devastation. That's the reason that I don't do videos about it. So there's that. What else is there to talk about this fight? I really hate the hostage. Because, like, if the enemies see you and they're near Deadshot, you might get alerted occasionally. It's not 100%. Also, the reason I used a disruptor on that guy was so that he might have used the goggles, but even then, the goggles didn't even get disabled, so there's that. In this section, I mostly just try to wait around for him to turn his back, and I fucked over Deadshot, and that's simple as that, baby. Come on, let's roll. What fight do we have next? Drum roll, please. It's Bane. I fucking love this fight. I mean, not as much as Deathstroke or the final fight. Not the DLC one, but like a final boss. Final boss. I feel it's pretty alright, especially his first phase. I really like the first phase because it gives you this feeling that it's like this one big macho brawl. Cause like he's like a wrestler, he's like a wrestler guy. He's strong, he's beefy. He packs a punch. Like if he punches you, you're fucking dead. You're gone for. And that's why I like this fight. Like especially the first phase. It gives you this feeling of mano a mano. Two strong men beating the shit out of each other with different fighting styles. Batman with like more of his martial arts and martial arts techniques, while Bane is using more of his wrestler techniques and moves, grabs, brutal force, body mass, and like Batman is dodging, taking advantage of his opponent's brutish abilities. It's just an overall great fight. And like I feel the track, which was not chosen by me, which was chosen by Ushiraiden, who's a really great guy. I fucking love him. Shoutouts to him. I'm gonna do shoutouts right now. Also, there are some really good syncs in this fight, so if you want to check those out, you can check out the no commentary version, which is also really good. What else? As I was saying, Ushi. I love Ushi. He's a really good guy. He also makes Arkham content occasionally. He makes Yakuza stuff as well. Who else can I shout out? Legit name, the guy who made this thumbnail for this video. He's a really good bro. Shout out to him. Great guy. I have been friends with him for over like 3 or 4 years. I feel like our bond is very sacred, and I respect him for it. He always has my back whenever I need him, and I hope that I will be able to pay him in some way or shape or form. Back to him, which I would love to. Aside from that, what else is there? What? Estereo Outsider, or Sex Haver as he is known on YouTube. Another Arkham YouTuber who's a friend of mine. He's a really good guy as well. Give him a follow, like Ushi, legit. I'll be linking all of the guys in below. Who else is there? Am I forgetting someone? Okay, actually, let's talk about the tactics. Enough spawn. Oh wait, I've almost forgot about my cousin. Fuck yeah. Saito. who is my cousin, who's also going to be planning on doing Arkham videos. Give him a sub too. He's a great guy. I love him. Real bro. Give all of those guys a follow. I'll be putting them in the descriptions. I want to also help them out because they're trying to grow in the YouTube scene, just like me. And I want to help them out in every single way because of how much of a bro they are. What else? Let's actually talk about the tactics in this fight. Okay, so when it comes to like when you're trying to drop it to a sliver of a health, like in right now, all you have to do is tree stun cape, stun beat down, dodge his charge attacks, which basically have auto lock on and aimbot. So be careful. Dodge when he does the ground pound, tree stun, take down, so you can defuse venom, and then do another beatdown. And in his last glimpse of health, when he has like 3 bars left, basically all you have to do is just normal attacks, which you actually can do. You don't have to do beatdowns on him. You can attack him normally, which is like a nice thing, because it allows you to do critical hits on crowd and your friend, not your friends, but on the crowd and Bane. Why did I say friends? What's wrong with me? Anyway, also use takedowns on Bane as well for extra style, because they look cool. What else? Yeah, that's about it. There's one more charge attack, like Raging Bull move that he does around the arena, and then he's gonna do a ground pound. And then, yeah, that's about it. Also, the reason I actually did, like, use vorarephilia in my eyes, aside from Ushi using it as well, is because it fits the may the strongest man win, aura of this fight, like the feeling of it, the vibe. After this we have Black Mask, which is basically just stupid, painful, annoying, disgusting, because of the martial artists. I just hate fighting martial artists. Fuck you! Martial artists. I hate fighting them. They're annoying, they're stupid, they're silly. Like, on New Game Plus they can be really annoying. They're similar to Deathstroke, but they're not at the same time, and can be really annoying if you're not if you don't know what you're doing. I don't enjoy them. They're not a fun time. But like as I said, Black Mask is pretty worthless, pretty easy, pretty shit fight. Next up is Bird, another worthless fight that I have to add because it is in the boss list. They're just filler. Anarky, this, and Black Mask are filler. Shiva and Deadshot are the only ones that in my eyes, are worth doing. But like Bird has a really good update, not update, but an upgrade, which allows you to use what's its name? Which allows you to use the special combo, the square triangle one, which allows you to break weapons. So, if you want to get that, you should do Bird. It's not that long, it's just like 2 crowd fights and a shitty boss fight, which lasts like more than 1 second. It's not that hard, so yeah, there's that. And I mean, that's kind of it. The reason I can't use music is because, despite the fact that I have music muted, I just can't change the music. Anyways, here's Firefly, which I'm not the biggest fan of, because of how many cinematic moments it has. I really don't like it, because, like, it's way too cinematic for my taste, if you ask me. Like, that kind of ruins the fight for me. And because of that, and not only that, there are also a lot of checkpoints, like the Mad Hatter fight, which kind of made it hard for me to do this. And so basically the end product of this video looks like a mishmash of editing. And if it doesn't look that good, I'm terribly sorry, man. I'm really sorry that I was able to disappoint you, so please forgive me again. Please accept my humble apology. What else is there? So the tactic for the first phase is just glue grenade, batarangs, bat claw, and pull him down, kick. Just do that for the rest of the thing. Because this fight's pretty basic. It's just mostly throwing stuff, dodging, throwing stuff, dodging. It's just rinse and repeat. You just do the same things over and 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 over again. I really like the cinematic approach, but like no damaging it has kind of made me hate it, because it kind of has started to get annoying. Like it's annoying because of how cinematic it is, which kind of a letdown. Like, I had to skip cutscenes because I don't want to make the video longer, you know. I mean, the video is long, 1 hour long, but even then, that's because I really wanted to use the final, like the cutscenes in the final boss. They're actually really good, in my eyes at least. I really don't like Firefly as a fight, mostly because of his grenades, which would be in the second phase. Also, let's talk about a tactic here. Okay, so to not take damage from the environmental fires when I grapple, I decided to do something that's a lot more interesting instead. So, I basically fall off the bridge. But, I actually press the grapple on my own, which allows me to take no damage. And that's actually a great tactic. You should use that if you're doing this fight. It actually helps. So there's that. What else? Just take your time with this section. Just try to be fast though. Like, don't be so slow. Because if you're pretty slow, you might get hit because of his whole barrage, his whole fire barrage, which can cause troubles for you. It's not that forgiving. Wait, my phone rang. Okay, it's nothing important. What else? Oh, it's the second phase. The grenades are really annoying, so to not have to deal with them, I decided to infinite Firefly. And I know you're going to ask, oh my god, After, what do you mean by infiniting? You can infinite bosses in this game? Well, yes, dear viewer, you can actually infinite Firefly. So the thing you have to do is chuck a stick glue grenade, do batarangs 3 times by 3, so basically 3 strings of batarangs 3 times, spam glue grenade after that, do the same thing, rinse, repeat, until it gets to a point of health where you can grapple onto him and initiate his final grenade phase, which is as annoying as it sounds. It's like really bad. I don't like it. I don't like that final grenade phase, and you'll see why. It sucks. Cringe. Nay, badass. Not badass. Shit, garbage, poop, funny, cringe. Okay, I had to do another edit, yeah, and no, I did not take damage there. Trust me, you can check the health bar, there is no decrease. When I restarted, that whole fire particle was on the ground. I don't know why, it just is. It's like weakest Arkham player, to be honest. Now, I had to do this I had to do this part a lot more, like I had to take a lot of takes, because I forgot that there were QTEs in this section. There are actually like counters that you have to do in this section, so be careful if you're no damaging this. Don't forget about those, you might fuck up a run. Aside from that, the reason I use Calamity Point from Fist of the Northstar Lost Paradise Fist of the Northstar Lost Paradise is that I feel like it fits the dramatic feel of the fight and his original theme in the game because of it being more orchestral. Anyways, here's the second Bane fight's first phase, which is pretty easy. It's mostly just doing one singular beatdown, a takedown, and done. Cool. This the first phase is pretty easy. It's mostly just a excuse to make it a bit more dramatic, which you'll see why. He does the ground pound, I do another beatdown, and he's going to do a cool move. Look at Bane. He's gonna do a banger. I think that's what the kids are calling them nowadays. Bane is like, I am going to break the bat, and the Joker is like, and yeah, let's talk about the story a bit, shall we, fellas? I mean, the story is mostly just Batman goes to Blackgate prison, which there's an outbreak at in the middle of Christmas Eve, I think. New Year's Eve. I don't know. I don't remember that much. If you were to ask me to plot a few weeks ago, or at least like a month ago, I probably would have given you a better answer. So Batman is still in his early years. He hasn't met the Joker yet, so this is the first time he actually meets the Joker, which is really cool, but here's a problem. In my eyes, I feel like Black Mask should have been the main villain, which is like the most problem that people have with this game. But if you ask me, I feel like the story is really good regardless. And it's nice to see him again in Arkham Knight, and he's also in Arkham City in some DLC challenge maps and in the start of the game. So there's that too. He has like some nice cameos in that game as well. What else? As I was saying, Black Mask hires assassins. We later on find out that Black Mask is actually Joker. Joker is planning on like fucking over Arkham, not Arkham but Gotham. So Batman's like, I'm going to stop you. Bane learns Batman's identity, but he becomes retarded at the end of the game. So there's that. Also, no offense to any people by me saying retarded, so I'm really sorry. It kind of just came out of my mouth. I don't know why. So sorry if I hurt your feelings, made you feel bad. If that was the case, you can just turn off the video. I'm sorry, man. I really am. Forgive me. So let's talk about the second phase. What else is there to say about this section? This section is a bit more easier compared to his first phase because you have to abuse the shit out of shotguns. So all you have to do is when he like finishes his charges and ground pounds, you come up to him, spam square, avoid the enemies, do takedown, take a bit of his health out, and rinse repeat. It's basically simple. But his attack, just like his first fight, is still a aimbot, and despite the fact that you do everything to avoid it, it will somehow catch up to you. Anyways, that's the second phase done. Also, can I just say that some of the cutscenes in this game, especially the final boss one, are way too good, and I fucking like it. I love this game's cutscene style. It's just good. I don't know why, but they just have this gritty feel to them, with some nice neon-ish colors. Like, this game has a lot of neon colors for some reason, like light colors, and I guess that could be because of this whole winter season thing. But even then, here comes my favorite Bane fight, because if you ask me, I feel like the final boss is actually made up of two bosses, which is the one of them being the first and second phase of the actual normal Venom Bane fight. And then there is the best Bane, which is TN1 Bane, a stealth boss fight, which we will get to in a few. And let's talk about some context here. So, Joker is basically trying to execute his final plan. And his final plan is that Batman either kills Bane and saves Joker, or kills Joker and saves Bane. And then Commissioner Gordon, fucks up and gets kidnapped by the Joker. So, he basically has to make it so that he makes it look like he killed Bane, and he is in arrest right now. His heart is stopped, but he's going to make it so that it works again. And we have a QTE section where we just spam square. This is more of a transition into the next fight, which is really good. I love it. And now, here comes my favorite cutscene in the main game. And actually, in the entirety of Origins. I love this cutscene. It's so grotesque and body horror. It's fucking awesome. Look at this shit. His muscles start growing, and he's growling, and he's grunting. He's filled with rage. His eyes glow green. He has this green smoke emitting. His entire body has like tubes of venom just shitting out. He pukes and shits venom. His poop is like neon green. His poop is neon green, and you can't tell me otherwise. And I love that aspect. What else? Okay, so let's talk about strategy in this fight. Okay, so basically all you have to do is get back to him, or hide in vents, do a takedown, get him near electrical doors. Get him near electrical doors and do takedowns on him to deal damage. And I'm gonna shut up now and listen to this thing. It's really good. Oh my god, that's so fucking good! Oh, I'm about to come! I'm about to come! Oh! I'm about to blow! Anyways, at least it's not a forcing and it's naturally made, unlike most YouTubers. No offense to those guys. If you know who I'm talking about, no offense to them. They're great guys, though. I just don't like force syncing. It feels, you know, unnatural. I feel like being able to do the sync by yourself, by accident, is like such a big reward. It feels so satisfying. And that's what that portion of the video was. It was accidental. I actually didn't plan that. I was like watching it and I was like, holy shit, how the fuck did that happen? And I was impressed at myself. Also, I accidentally got spotted, so sorry about that. No damage taken though. I was able to stun him with the glue grenade. This fight is a bit more similar to Mr. Freeze from Arkham not Origins. I occasionally mix those games up because of how similar they are. And I think that's a good thing, because City is a really good game, and I feel like Origins basically improves on the, let's just say, template that Origins, not Origins, City put out. It's just generally overall an improvement, and I feel like people don't give it credit enough because of that, and it's stupid. It's just an overall good game compared to Origins. Yeah, not Origins, City, fuck! I confuse the games a lot. I'm sorry if I sound delusional or something. What else is there? Okay, let's talk about my music choice, which is another track from Fist of the Northstar, Lost Paradise. Check the game out, it's really good. It can be a bit grindy as from what I heard from people, but I don't listen to those fellas. They probably are wrong. Now, okay. What else is there? Okay, he didn't saw me there. That wish was pretty luck-based. Okay. The reason I chose this track, which is called Conqueror of the Father, which is Raho's team, King of Fists, Keno, from Fist of the Northstar. He's Kenshiro's brother-in-law or something, I don't know. But the thing I'm trying to say is that I feel like the track fits Bane a lot, because in this part of the fight, he's basically a walking death machine. He can kill you with one singular hit. He can destroy you. One singular wrong move and you're gone. And I feel like this fight depicts it a lot. Because like, he occasionally opens up vents. He actually breaks vents. He like, puts his hand through them to grab you. He does all sorts of stuff. He's really smart. He reminds me of a lot of Mr. Freeze because of that. Mr. Freeze was really smart in City as well, which was a really nice touch. Like, you could not use the same takedown on him twice. It was a great gameplay detail, but unlike here, you can spam the same takedown on him. But he has some sort of complexity towards him to not make him feel repetitive or dull or easy. But like, even then, he's pretty mostly easy. But like, there's a point in the fight where after a certain amount of health, you basically have a disruptor or like a jammer stopping your detective vision. So you have to listen to his footsteps to get the final few hits in, which is actually like a really good idea. It's really it's nice. It incentivizes it makes it so that you use detective vision less. It's actually a good design. I like that. It's amazing. This game has like really good bosses overall, and that's like great. It's amazing. I like that. And I wish most of the other Arkham games, aside from City and this one, had better bosses. Asylum, yeah, I can understand. It's like the first game in the franchise. They were trying to get a footing. They were trying to learn how the system would have worked. They were testing things out. It was the first. But like Arkham Knight, man. Arkham Knight is such a disappointment in the case of bosses, if you ask me. Because like you look at the good bosses that are similar, Bane, Deathstroke, Bane 1, TN1 Bane. Deadshot, like the bosses you can think of when you talk about those are... Okay, so let me list off those bosses. Red Hood, Riddler, Professor Pig, all of the DLC boss fights. And who else? Man-Bat, maybe? Yeah, that's about it from what I can remember. Oh yeah, Albert King. I always forget about that guy. Anyways, here's the only DLC fight aside from Shiva in Initiation, which I might do Initiation someday. It's like a really well-designed DLC, despite the fact that the stealth section sucks. But even then, I just hate playing stealth overall, except if it's like a boss fight, I'm fine with stealth boss fights, if they're designed good. Which this fight is, for the most part. But like, even then, I have to take mandatory damage in some part of the fight, which I will be addressing. And then before someone say,
After you can actually like escape out of that grab, you can actually escape out of there easily.
no, you cannot. I literally tried like 100 times. I have tried so many times, but no, you cannot. You cannot escape that. You cannot escape the second phase intro, which I will be getting into more detail after the first phase. Okay, so the first phase is pretty simple for the most part. You try to avoid the guards, avoid Mr. Freeze, especially Mr. Freeze. So the thing you have to do in this section is to overheat the cryo tanks and explode them, which in turn takes the attraction of Mr. Freeze. Also, that was a really nice save by stunning the guard. So that you were trying to make it so that you're away from Mr. Freeze as possible, because when you're in the middle of overheating, he might come towards you and actually freeze you, which actually might fuck up your runs. And that's actually just overall annoying as hell and pisses me off. Like, I had to retry this section so many times just because of that bullshit. But I feel like it's still a really good boss fight. Like, if you ask me, Arkham Knight and Origins have the best DLCs, mostly because of how well designed the boss fights in the DLCs are. Yeah, Arkham Knight mostly has beatdowns, like, they're not too complex like this one. But, like, I feel that this one is still the best boss fight because of how complex it is. Yeah, simplicity is nice, but it's, like... Yeah, but, like, yeah, still, you get what I mean. Anyways, I had to take mandatory damage in that whole freeze section where... Not freeze, but, like, ice cube section where I was, like, iced by Mr. Freeze. There literally isn't any sort of way where you can do it without taking any sort of damage. So there's that. Let's talk about the plot of the DLC a bit. Yeah? I feel like it's about time. Because this fight's probably going to be a lot more longer. We still have like some 7 minutes, 9 minutes or more. Because for the last cutscene I probably won't be talking, because I want you to witness it in all of its glory. And enjoy the victory as much as I did while doing it. Okay, so before I talk about the story, this was my first time doing this fight. Let me tell you that. This was a blind playthrough. The only sort of tactics I saw was from other people, like mostly just random boss channel videos where they do all the bosses on the easiest difficulty with no damage. It's just weird. You know those types of YouTube channels? Yeah, I know. Cringe. As I was saying, this was my first time actually fighting Freeze. I didn't want to play the DLC again, because the collectibles actually are required to do this fight. If you don't have the collectibles, you're basically fucked. You're cucked. You're bamboozled. You're done for. You need them. So I decided to do them, and I decided to no damage the boss first time I was playing it, which had its struggles. Anyways, let's talk about the story more before I try to like make this section of the video way too long. What else is okay? So the plot is that there's a party at Wayne Manor. They're celebrating. There's a humanitarian guy named Ferris Boyle who's the owner of Gotham. They're going to give him an award for his humanitarian efforts, but then Mr. Freeze interferes and fucks over the party, and he's like, I'm taking Ferris Boyle with me. And Batman's like, no, you can't. Rawr, I'm Batman. I'm angry Batman. I'm like in my teenage year, not teenage, but my first years as a superhero. I'm angry. Rawr. Ah, that hurt my throat. Anyway, that, as I was saying, Ferris Boyle, Mr. Freeze is like, you can't defeat me, Batman. Like, threats are nothing to a man who has lost everything. Batman's like, bro, what the fuck you talking about? And then Batman investigates a bit more and then finds out that Ferris Boyle is like a son of a bitch and is a scum of a person of a being. But even then, he's kind of like a basic villain. He's a stereotype. And we kind of find out that Mr. Freeze is actually kind of not the bad guy. But yet, we still fight him, which is pretty cool. But like, it is later on revealed to be that Mr. Freeze is actually in the life of crime just to save his wife. Just to save, like, his dying wife. Which is a nice dynamic, and I feel like they let's just say did it better than Arkham City, because Arkham City just had like a singular boss fight and a side mission. And I feel like having an entire DLC around Victor or Mr. Freeze is a nice way of, you know, making him feel human and explain his feelings and such. It's good. It's a good thing. Anyway. Okay, so let's talk about the reason I chose the Wolgan's theme from MGS3. I feel like it fits this fight. I don't know why, but I like the guitar. It's really good. The guitar is really good. The guitar in this song is really good. Thank God I didn't take damage there, because if I were to, I probably would have freaked out and probably would have gone mad. Because I was at my last drop when I was doing this. I was like, I just want to get this done. This already has been painful enough, so... And I hope that, like, overall, with my commentary, with my gameplay, and just overall content on my channel, I hope that I'm entertaining you guys. Since, besides the fact that I do this as a passion project, this whole YouTube schmuck, like, it's like a passion project for the most part. I do it because I have nothing else to do with my life. I have no purpose. I mean, I do have some purposes, but I feel like YouTube has kind of become one of those purposes. So, I hope that I'm actually, like, making it so that this video is enjoyable in some sort of way, some sort of part. Like, I hope I'm making it so that you guys are enjoying it. And, well, what else can I talk about this? This DLC is actually mostly inspired by the Batman animated series movie Sub-Zero, I think, and a episode called Cold Cold Heart. But I may be wrong, since I sadly haven't watched the animated series. And then before you say, yeah, I know, it's really good, and I have seen some glimpses of the show, and it looks really good. Like, it's really good. It looks nice. The animation, especially, it looks really good, especially even by today's standards. Like the aesthetic overall, and like, especially for a kids show, the stuff that it kind of did back then is really impressive. Like some of the topics it talked about in the show is really impressive for a kids show, you know. Anyways, what else is there to talk about this fight? Like, this fight mostly is just pretty slow, because you mostly just throw batarangs, zip, batarang, zip, batarang, occasional takedown involving a wall or a vent. You can't use anything else besides the ice-based structure takedowns, which is a bit limiting, and by that you don't have many options when you go to fight against Freeze, which kinda ruins the fight in my eyes a bit. What else is there to talk about? The voice cast. I really like, actually, yeah, I should talk about Joker and Batman in this game. In fact, they're not voiced by Kevin Conroy, nor Troy Baker. They're actually voiced, no, not Troy Baker, Mark Hamill. The Joker is voiced by Troy Baker, and Batman is voiced by Roger Craig Smith. I was like, wait, how? When I first heard that it was actually Roger Craig Smith that voiced Batman in this game. And let me tell you, he does a good Kevin Conroy-ish voice. He does that whole, he does like the voice. He does a really good job, if you ask me. I really like his voice. And don't get me started on Troy Baker, he actually plays it really well. I love his Joker. Like, especially compared to Mark Hamill and other voice actors, he's really good. I really like the overall playfulness of his voice, to be honest. It fits the character. And I feel like just overall the voice talent is really good. It's nice. It's like they all know how to play their roles. They all take their times. Like they all know when to shine, when to take a back seat. And I feel like that's great. And like the cast even has some returning voice actors, like Deadshot from Arkham City. He has the same voice actor, and Killer Croc, I think, who also has the same voice actor from Arkham Asylum. But I might be wrong on that, but I am not that sure, as I said. What else is there to talk about? I'm kind of running out of things to say most of the time because of how many times I've done this. I've done it 3 times, but like, I don't want to go too off topic, because if I go too off topic, like, what's the point of the gameplay in the background then? Even better off, I should have like started a podcast if that were the case, if you ask me, but hey. And this is probably going to be the final takedown, and then I'm probably going to say my goodbyes. And yeah, this is going to be the final takedown. We're going to end on a wall takedown, and then the engines are going to shut up for Nora Freeze. So, that's been all the bosses. That's been all the boss fights in Batman Arkham Origins. I want to thank you for watching this video. Liking, subscribing, sharing, doing everything, all of those. I really appreciate your kind support, kind words, and like your just overall support. It really means a lot to me. So thanks for watching my videos and such. This was After, and I have done all the boss fights in Batman Arkham Origins. And I will see you all next time when I'll be doing Arkham Asylum or another game. I don't know, whatever I feel like. So take care.
But you shouldn't have stuck your nose in my business. And here I thought I was going to have a problem explaining what happened in your lab. I mean, the police are never going to look at me after what you did. And with this bat freak dead, there won't be anyone left to say otherwise.
Cryogenic containment failing.
And that just leaves you.
Please, you can save her. You just have to bypass the cryotunnel.
Victor! She's done! I'll keep you alive long enough to see her go! No!